All right, welcome everybody. Massive Action Monday. Yes, we are here. I want to say welcome to everybody. My name is Chris Williams. This is the Grow Your Side Business podcast where I help ambitious employees learn how to grow a profitable side business. My new course is out, Side Hustle Secrets. If you want to understand the best ways to go about building you a side business, how to take what's in your head right now and actually go apply it to my core four strategies and be able to really turn that into money inside of the marketplace. You want to 3x what you make in your day job out in the marketplace? Well, guess what? The Side Hustle Secrets course will be able to help you out with that. In fact, that is today's sponsor, is the Side Hustle Secrets course. You can go to growyoursidebusiness.com right now or go to the link in the description, and I guarantee you, you will absolutely love that particular course. And so for today, I wanted to have a conversation because I personally have fallen victim to this, and some of us may have been here before. But how many of you, and just tell me down in the comments, how many of us struggle with, we're following so many experts and so many gurus, we don't know who to listen to. How many of us are struggling with that, right? Like it feels at times overwhelming. And in fact, I will tell you, it is overwhelming. It is overwhelming in this world of get it now, in this world of get rich quick, in this world of man, I got mine, you should get yours. In this world of wow, they did it so fast. It just feels like, man, there are so many people who finally got it. I even heard it said, shout out to, I'm going to call some people out only because they're, people that I'm getting to know and people that are in the business community. But, shout out to a great gentleman, David Shands of the Social Proof Podcast. If y'all not listening to that podcast, listen, I know I talk about my show a lot. The show is freaking incredible. But, I heard him say one time on his show that, hey, you know what? There's a lot of pandemicpreneurs, right? They got to the bag, right? They use that, PPP money, and now all of a sudden they know how to do it. And it's not saying that you don't take, opportunities that come to you and make something happen out of them. I mean, I've talked to and met people who, during Hurricane Katrina lost everything, took what was given to them by the government and went and built real businesses behind it. Like that really does happen. So I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but then the question becomes, well, who do I listen to, right? Like, well now who should I actually be listening to? Like there's so much information out there. Who do I listen to? So I wanted to give you some advice for Massive Action Monday. And if you're watching this on the replay, hit replay. If you're watching this live, down in the comments, I want you to hit live and then tell me who are the gurus, the experts, the folks that you're following right now. Like, just tell me down in the comments, because here's something that I figured out for myself. It feels like a big distraction. Like, it really does. Like, I feel like right now, it's all just a big distraction. How do I know this? Well, one, I want to define for you what distraction is, because I think sometimes understanding how we got to terms and how things become, the longer we are away from the truth, the easier it is to miss the core essence of what something actually meant. So what is distraction? I want to actually show you this because when I first saw this, it was mind-blowing to me what distraction actually is. So I want you to think of it this way. Back in the medieval days, this was actually what they called a form of torture. Distraction was actually a form of torture. Let me show you exactly what they meant when they actually had torture back in the medieval days. You're talking about Vikings when they would take over a ship, or when somebody would be, caught as a captive person to a Viking team or a tribe or whatever the case may be. Here's kind of what would happen. Um, what you would see is there would be kind of like a slab, right? And here's the person, and here's them sitting there. Well, one of the things that they would do is they would tie down the person's extremities, right? And the way they would tie down this person's extremities was pretty interesting. So I can't draw worth the lick, but we're gonna give this a shot. So what they would do is they would take, these. Let's see if I can do this right. They would, take these horses, right? I'm not good at drawing, so don't kill me here. But basically, they would tie a horse to every extremity. Trust me, y'all, I do not get paid to draw, so these look like turtles. I need to learn how to draw, right? But basically, they would take, these horses, and what they would do is they would tie your ends to, each one. And then what they would do is they would smack the back of the horse, which basically told him to run. And therefore, that's where we got the term distraction. Sounds morbid, right? But that really was the case. This is how we got into distraction. But I remember the first time I saw the image of distraction. And by the way, the term originally, as a torture method, was found. And then what happened was the English and the French saw that the Vikings were doing this, and they called it, that's how we got the term torture or distraction. It was torture, but it became known as distraction. If you just look at it, basically to pull something apart. And what I realized was, wait a second, that's a very accurate depiction. Why is that? Because if I just look at myself, right, what I see is multiple ways that I get distracted by experts, right? I get distracted by so many experts. It's kind of crazy when you think about how many experts and gurus and people that you're following. The reason why you can't take massive action is because you don't know who, quote unquote, to listen to. So it's easy to get, distracted by all the credit gurus, all the real estate gurus, all of the small business gurus, all of the people, the car rental gurus, right? There's even inside, there's gurus inside of this, right? Like RE's one thing, but then you got, short-term rental gurus, you got multifamily guru, like, you know what I mean? It's so many different gurus. There's, gurus on podcasting, right? There's, there's all the gurus that I might listen to about my family and how to run that, right? There's relationship gurus. There's so many. There's tech gurus, right? There's car gurus. There's, insurance gurus, right? There's funnel gurus. I mean, my whole point is, y'all, like, I could keep going on and on, but doesn't that look like an accurate depiction of you and I today? I mean, just for kicks, right? Like, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go through your YouTube history watch. I want you to go through the people that you follow on Instagram, the people that you're following on TikTok, the people that you're connected to on LinkedIn. What is it that you watch and immediately have a reaction to in some shape, form, or fashion, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. And then we wonder why we can't seem to move forward with the thing that we are doing. And it all has to do with the fact that I think personally, we are following too many gurus and experts. Too many. So, well, how do you deal with that, Chris? What should I be looking at for Massive Action Monday? How do I, because here's what's happening. And the reason why we're following all these people, it's really simple. We're following trends. We're getting caught up in FOMO, fear of missing out. We're getting caught up on scarcity. And we're getting lost in the unknown. These right here, trends, FOMO, scarcity, and unknown, tell me if this is not the truth for you right now. And here's how you can tell. If you get really excited about doing something in your business today, but then you immediately go scroll through Instagram and you see somebody's post on something and it is just killer. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. You're like, whoa, I can't believe they did that. Oh, this is so well said. Oh, I love the graphics. Oh, I love whatever. And then you sit down to do your part, right? For your business. And what happens is we're watching in amazement, but internally we're comparing, right? Like I want to give you a good example. Like I know that there's people that I follow, so I'm gonna write these down, right? And this is no particular order, but I'm just gonna write these people down, right? And I want to show you what I have learned to do in this last year of the people that I am following. This is good. Hopefully this will help somebody for Massive Action Monday. Let's see. I'm gonna go to say fortune builders for real estate. Let's just start here. Let's just start with this group here, okay? So David Shands. What is David Shands? David Shands is my podcasting person, leader, right? Myron Golden is my business leader. Eric Worre is my network marketing leader. Fortune Builders is my real estate leader, right? So podcasting business, I could write another one up here. Russell Brunson, right? Russell Brunson. I could add Alex Hermosi. Right? And Russell would be funnels expert, right? I could say Alex is also a business leader, but I would say he's definitely somebody I follow for scale and just education. Y'all, there's 6 different people right there. 6 different ones. 6 different people that I typically, it doesn't matter, in my car, when I got my headphones on, whatever I'm reading, whatever I'm paying attention to, those are the people who frequent my timelines, my news feeds, emails, social media, all of that, right? Well, here's the thing that I want you to know about when you choose to follow somebody as an expert or guru. They are giving you advice from the perch that they're sitting now. But the difference between where they're sitting and where I am today is probably a ton of experience, a ton of money and a ton of action. So while they may discuss their expertise in such a way, I know that when I am done listening to their podcast episode or listening to an interview or reading an article or attending one of their their live events or taking one of their courses, I know there's got to be some work that I am willing to do based on what I just heard. So let me give you a little bit of advice of something that I tend to do every time I listen to one of these 6 so that I do not get caught up in trying to compare myself internally and doing absolutely nothing. So let me give you a little bit of advice on what I'm typically doing every time I watch something that they share. Here's the first thing. The first thing that I do is pick one thing. Just pick one thing. Listen, if you are building your side business, you probably don't have a large team. It might be just you as a solopreneur. There's so many things that they're sharing, and they have teams, and they got people doing data, and they're consuming a lot of data. And if you're watching what they're saying and then going into the comments and like, man, they got 80 people commenting. Man, I only got like 1 person commenting. You are making a grave mistake because you are immediately comparing yourself. So when you watch something that one of your favorite experts or gurus talk about, pick one thing that they discussed and only focus on that one thing. Listen, you can have it all, just not right now. Okay? You and I, we can literally have it all. Just not right now. And we got to be okay with that. All right? That's the first thing. Here's the second thing that I do. Second thing is understand when I can do that. See, I think what I've learned about myself is sometimes the reason why I won't take massive action, the reason why I get overwhelmed with listening to everybody, the reason why I fall plague to comparison of myself and where I am today to the gurus who've been doing it for a while, the main reason is because I hadn't put anything on the calendar of when I could actually use the thing that they're telling me about. Right? Like, if I go to a real estate mastermind event and I'm hearing somebody talk about a multifamily play, and to them, well, it's only $20 million. So I just got the $20 million, raised it, and then we started building and working on it. And it's like, wait a second. Have I done my first $1 million play yet? How about my first $500,000 play? How about my first $300,000 play? My point is that you might be listening to an expert that you really like and love hearing from, but you're not moving in the thing that you're doing because either you're comparing what they're saying now to where you are and what you don't have, so you're comparing based on resources and amount of lack, thus you don't move, or what you're not doing is saying, okay, I'm going to pick this one thing, but when can I actually implement in my timeline and based on where I am today what they're telling me? Because it might not be for you right now, and that's okay. Focus on the thing that you can do right now and do that over and over and over. Here's the third thing. So one, you're going to pick one thing. The second thing is, when can you actually do that one thing? Here's the third thing, and this is probably, I would say, the most simple thing that I finally figured out for myself as I listened to a bunch of experts and a lot of gurus. And I'll give you a great story. So I remember the first time I heard David Shands. It was literally October 2021, and somehow I came across his information on YouTube. I came across the Social Proof podcast on YouTube around August or October-ish of 2021. I literally watched so many interviews that this dude conducted. It was, I was up late night, going to bed and getting up early in the morning. I'm listening on the way to work. When I tell you I was hooked on the stuff that he was doing because I like podcasting. I like great conversation, and I like meeting interesting people, and I like talking to them about their journey. So he was doing exactly what I saw myself doing. And here's the thing that I didn't understand until months in, and I finally got a chance to meet him, got into his mastermind, gotten to know him a little bit better than I did back then, and he's just an incredible human being. But the thing that I realized that I had to do, sometimes, so once you pick the one thing, and when you know when you can actually do that, like when can I employ what I'm hearing, you might need to back away and focus. And this one right here is probably gonna mess a lot of people up. Well, wait a second. If I'm watching, Chris, if you were watching David Shands and consuming all of his information, and you loved what he was doing with the podcast, and well, Chris, why would you back away from all of what he was doing? Because what I realized was, instead of being a producer of my own content, I was too busy consuming. And the challenge that most of us have, whether you're a solopreneur or entrepreneur, building your side business, is it's easy to become go back into consumerism, and you just spend all of your time consuming your favorite experts and gurus information, and you're not even executing on the thing that you have that is your business. So what you got to learn to do is back away and just focus on what you are going to do. Here's what I mean. So I remember, I found David's, channel. I'm going through all of his stuff. I'm picking up little details and hints because I'm observant by nature. So I'm looking at how he's doing his stuff. He's got thumbnails. Oh, he's got thumbnails for shorts, different than the thumbnails for his long form content. Oh, I noticed that he's having these types of conversations right now, and they're talking about this. I noticed he's got a guest host. I noticed the colors that they're choosing. I'm all in, right? And what I realized was, one day, I probably was, I don't know, a couple weeks in, just constantly listening. And I went and looked at my own YouTube channel. And I started to compare based on where he was at that time. And you know what I noticed? It stuck out to me like a ton of bricks. I hadn't produced a single thing on my channel in the full 2 weeks that I'm watching him drop episode after episode after piece of content after piece of content. And I went, maybe, just maybe, I should actually go ahead and produce some content, right? And that was the biggest aha to me. But the only way I was going to do that was I had to back away from my favorite experts and gurus and go do the work and just keep doing the work. And even when I didn't feel like doing the work, just go do the work, because it's easy to get overwhelmed when you're watching your experts and gurus and your favorite people. And while they're doing their job from their perch, they're not doing it to make you and I feel bad so we do nothing. What they're basically trying to be is that carrot out front, that leader, that actionable intelligence type person, so that we will continue to move forward. And I think too many times I found myself just not moving because I'm too busy consuming my favorite experts and gurus information and content. So I'm telling you right now, if you just follow these three, you can lessen the amount of what I would consider distraction that you get from your favorite experts and gurus across these social media lands and YouTube streets. Okay? Again, pick one thing that you heard from an episode, or one thing that you got out of a course that you bought of theirs. Pick something, and then when are you going to actually go do that thing? But I'm going to tell you, the moment you figure that out, back away and go execute on what you've already been doing. Because here's just the bonus piece that I want to share with you is this. You already have an audience that is ready-made, tailor-made. They like what you like. They're willing to rock with you, and they're already there. There are probably thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of people who are willing to follow you, but they don't know you exist yet. So they have to go somewhere because they're looking for you, but you haven't shown up yet. So you have to be more in love with executing on the passion, on the side business, on the deliverables, on the very minute details of your business more than you are consuming an expert, or your favorite guru's content and information. It's so hard to shut off our consumer brain. But until we develop that habit and muscle, because I used to wonder, I used to hear people, and I used to think it was such the most arrogant statement. I would hear people say, "Oh, I haven't heard of that person. Oh, I know about them, but I haven't listened to anything that they've said. I haven't heard any of their content. I haven't been over here. And I'm going, are you that arrogant that you haven't heard of X person? How dare you have not heard of her? She's everywhere. And what I realized is, oh, wait a minute. The reason why they haven't consumed their content because they're too busy producing their own. I mean, just think about that for a second. So the next time you hear your favorite expert or guru say, yeah, I've heard of that person, but I don't know much about their content, it's not because they're disrespecting the person or they're thinking less of that person. They probably have just been so busy up until the moment that they sat down with that particular person on that person's show being asked that question. They've been so busy focusing on their job and their execution and their business, they haven't had time to consume other people's stuff. Just a thought. Just a thought. Right? And you and I have to get better at that. Okay? All right, so listen, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Massive Action Monday. If you're watching this on a replay, thank you so much. Down in the comments below, please tell me, who are your favorite experts? Who are your gurus? And then how are you going to implement this play when it comes to what you're after and what you're building? I want you to fall in love with what you do, not fall in love with what they're doing and falling out of love with where you are right now. Everybody has a road to travel. But if you don't pick up your feet and take the steps, you'll never get there, and it'll always seem like your goals are in the distance, right? So if you're watching this live, thank you so much for watching. Again, this episode is sponsored in part by Side Hustle Secrets. If you are trying to figure out how to take out of your head as a high-performing, ambitious employee, and you want to make it into something and be able to sell it in the marketplace alongside of your day job, Side Hustle Secrets course is for you. I want to show you my core 4 strategies. I'm going to show you the 5 different ways that you could be leveraging the information in your head and turn it into something that you can actually go and build a profitable side business with. And who knows where you go from there, but it doesn't happen until you start. So go grab the Side Hustle Secrets course. It's in the description below. You can also go to the website, growyoursidebusiness.com. Click on the programs. You'll be able to find it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're just listening to the audio experience, I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see you again in the next episode. Peace.